Welcome to how to create your own guppy strain. In my previous video, I explained how to breed your own guppies. In this video, I'm going to explain what a strain is and how you can create your own. Guppies come in many colours, patterns, tail types, shapes and sizes. When a guppy is selectively bred to hold certain traits, it can become a strain. For instance, you might find a guppy with a lovely long flowing tail that you like. If you breed it successfully, with a chance some of the offspring will also hold that trait. Strains are formed when a guppy's offspring are near copies of it. Creating a strain involves breeding to its relatives, which might sound messy, but is commonplace in the fish world. To help explain, I'm going to show you a breeding project that I have planned. In my project, I want to keep the traits of this female Koi Ribbon Guppy for future generations. I'm going to attempt to breed it to one of these male full red guppies. If I was to successfully breed them, I haven't created a strain yet. I have created what are called moat guppies. Moat guppies don't look like their parents, as they are a mix of strains. It'll be likely that all the offspring will look different to each other and the parents. It's at that point that I would need to breed the offspring back to the original female. The offspring from this batch will then hold the traits that I desire. From here, inbreeding will form a strain. So this is the female I want to breed. She's the only one I have, and I really want to keep her colour, particularly the red around her head. She also holds the ribbon gene. The ribbon gene is extra long fins. However, I have several males of the full red strain, and I need to pick out the nicest and the best. I'm going to show you what I'm looking for in the male I choose. So I've picked out 11 males. They are all brothers except one, which is their dad. Interestingly, they are all slight variations on their dad and not exact copies. So this is Dad. I won't be using him as he's getting on a bit and I think he's a bit tired. He was a lovely fish around a year ago though. He's got nice big blue pectoral fins and he's pretty much fully red. So out of all of the brothers, I've picked out 6 and I'm going to go through each one and just point out certain traits that I've noticed. So looking at picture number 1 there, the fish looks healthy, but it's a little bit thin. It's a bit on the thinner side. Also notice the dorsal fin at the top there has a little bit of yellow on the end. Moving on to number 2. This is a very different looking fish to the rest of them. You can see the pattern on the tail. It's not as clean as the rest of them. There's a little bit of sort of mottled pattern in there. Again, it's a little bit of yellowing on the dorsal fin. But the main trait that I'm noticing is the white belly. There's less red on this fish than the other ones. Fish number 3, it's a nice fish. It's a chunkier fish. It's a lot more healthy looking. Tail hangs down a little bit. Not too concerned about that, but again, it's got some yellowing in the dorsal fin. Fish 4, towards the head end, it's a bit faded, though the red is less prominent. It's just a little bit too dull. It's got a nice dorsal fin. It's not the best picture of this fish, but it does have a nice tail too. Fish 5 is a very nice one. Again, it does have the yellowing on the end of the fin, not so much, but it's a much redder fish. The tail has a little bit of patterning in it, and it's a healthy, full-bodied fish. I think of all of them, my favourite is going to be number 6. It's got that little bit of iridescent blue, which a lot of them has. It's got a nice tail, which is a good shape. It's got a nice dorsal fin, a little bit of yellowing, but not as much as the other ones. And it's a full-bodied fish. It's a healthy-looking fish. It's a deep red, although it's got a little bit of whitening on the stomach. It's not got as much as some of the other ones. So now looking from the top down on the fish, we can see that iridescent blue a little bit easier, as well as the blue pectoral fins. Interestingly, you can see the blue pectoral fins much clearer on the older male, which is the dad. I'll circle him now. Just by looking at the fish, I've kind of got in my mind what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for a bigger male with as much red as possible, with as little white as possible, with that nice iridescent blue on the back, and the less yellowing of the fins, which some of them seem to have. If we go back to look at the original female that we want to breed one of these with, I'm hoping these traits complement what she's got. She's a Koi Ribbon Guppy, and I suppose you need to start thinking about what your ideal strain would look like. As they are both albino strains and similar colours, it's going to be quicker to create a strain. If I'd chosen 2 completely different colours and patterns, it would take more breedings and more effort to get to the point where our new strain is stable. My ideal outcome would be for 1 or 2 of the fry from this breeding to have their mum's long flowing ribbon gene and red head, along with dad's blue back. So I suppose the strain I want is essentially mum, but with more blue in her fins, some blue along her back, and more red in her body. Now, if you're looking at these 2 pictures and thinking it's a bit ambitious to expect the offspring to look that exotic, you may be right, but there are guppies out there that look this nice. There's one important aspect of breeding a guppy strain that I have not mentioned yet, which is called culling. Culling is when breeders remove fish that don't look exactly like their parents. As you saw earlier, my full red males are all slight variations on their dad. I'm not a fan of culling and prefer to sell or give away the fish that don't hold the traits I like. I don't think it's fair to cull a fish because it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Other people would be very pleased to have that fish. Anyway, it's time to wrap up the video. There's a lot to take in there, so if you have any questions, just ask. And I also want to know, which male would you choose to breed? Drop me a comment down below. Until next time, bye for now.